phone was an inflection point in sales. Computer was the next one. Internet was the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, we had automatic outreach with tools like Outreach and SalesLoft. But I feel that we're in a different inflection point right now. Yes, we have the capability of producing content and information at speeds faster than ever, and we have AI that can help us to do so. But there's an inflection point that's happening where we're sending out so much information that buyers don't want more information. They're getting oversaturated by it. They want the right information. And I believe those are the salespeople that are going to truly win. And today I'm going to tell you with my guests how you make that happen. Check it out. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast. I'm your host, Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist. And I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, I have the one and only Jean-Philippe, Mr. JP himself. And he runs an organization where he does exactly what I told you in the teaser. I did an episode a while back and we talked about it. There are three types of emails. There's the referrals or outreach, which is awesome. Then there's the probing, which most people do. You and I do that. We're probing, trying to get the prospect attention. But then there's another one where it comes with relevance. Like that relevancy, and it's just so critical where it sounds like you're an expert, like you know my issue. Like, bro, were you peeping through my window? That type of content, that's the inflection point we're in. If you think about it, the buyer or the average individual is getting hundreds, thousands of pieces of information throughout the week. But the point is, most of those go dead because we're overwhelmed, we're oversaturated, and we just don't have time to go through all of that. And spam is taking care of 90% of them anyways. And the ones that are making through, we're deleting because they're not relevant. They don't tie to an issue that I have. But imagine if you knew when to send to a prospect because of the right information, the right timing, and you had the right messaging. That relevance, man, that's magic. JP runs an organization where he does that. He sold one of his companies to Dun Bradstreet, and he's going to talk about that. And I'm telling you, the guy knows data, but he knows AI, and he knows sales in the sense of what we need to do to get prospects' attention right now. I'm in love with what their solution, and I highly recommend it. You're going to see why as we dive into this episode. Oh, P.S. If this is your first time listening, go ahead and subscribe, and we're going to notify you every time we drop a new piece of content because they're going to fall under one of two brackets. One, it's going to be something that's going to help you to build pipe, or two, it's going to be something to help you accelerate deals through the pipe even faster. Today's episode, it's all around building pipe. And how you do it, my goodness, stuff a revolutionary inflection point. Let's dive in and get a chance to meet JP. Jean-Philippe, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I am really, really excited for our conversation. I got my tablet ready, and I'm here as a student as much as I am here as a host, because the challenge that we find and you find and every salespeople across the globe right now is outreach is still critical, but the way we're doing outreach is evolved. I saw a post today and it was talking about specifically in Europe and how outreach isn't dead, but you got to know the right way to go about it. And I think it's the same thing we're seeing across the US as well, where people are being more cautious of information that they're getting because of the proliferation of tools that does mass outreach. So the buyers are more apprehensive and they still need our offering. So how we do it. And that's why I'm coming to this episode so excited. So I'm excited to hear what you're going to teach. But
cool. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And I have a different way of looking at all this, like sales and marketing evolution through AI.
Oh my goodness.
So just a little background. I started this venture almost 4 years ago. So in December will be 4 years. And before that, I sold my previous venture to Dun Bradstreet. So to DNB.
Small company.
I'm quite already 15 years into the data and into the sales and the marketing and what AI, BI can do for B2B business. So that's really my background. But I'm like a statistician, but also an ornithologist. So I love nature. So everything is based on nature, but that's a different discussion. But anyway, so yes, today what I see is what everybody's doing is the more you spray and the more you have to pray. So it's like spraying and praying all the time. So a year ago, I had like 5 to 10 messages on LinkedIn, and now I'm having like above 150 daily. I'm going completely nuts with that. Because I have founder and CEO in my title, so that's why I'm like more targeted than a lot of people. But still, it's with those automation tools, it's the AI tools, it's being worse every day. And why is that? Because like we can't predict at what time, what message. People are pretending to do that. It's always based on data in the past as well. It's never a combination of so yeah. So what do? We try to get the big guns out and shoot everything down that we can, and then hoping something will fall down. So basically, you have to see it like that, and which is quite annoying for the recipient, because like I get daily targeted by AI companies, like saying, "Oh, we're going to increase your sales. We need to position people into your company." But look, did you do your homework? I'm myself an AI company. I do that myself. So you're clearly not well targeted. So that's the first thing that is coming into my mind when you hear that. So yeah, I totally agree with you.
So here's what I want to take a peek at.
Yeah,
The first piece that I want to look at is better timing, because when it comes to going doing outreach nowadays, better timing is important. The right targeting is critical, and then better content messages. And I think those are some of
yeah,
the things that we have identified. So
yeah,
I want to go and start. Just hear me out, JP. I am
yeah,
a sales rep, or I'm a leader of a company and a sales team, and I'm looking at these prospects that we're going after, and my team is just having a really difficult time doing a straight marketing, a straight sales outreach. You're not getting the LinkedIn messages answers, and the phone, the emails are just going on replied, and my phone messages are not working. What can I do? And one of the things you shared with me was the better timing. How can I know
yeah. So
better timing though?
yeah, correct. So it's always a cocktail. So you need to have this whole cocktail right. When one of the ingredients is off, the cocktail doesn't taste well anymore. So, and that's what you need to get. So you need to get the right ingredients with the right dosage at the right time. So when your cocktail needs to be served cold, it needs to be cold. I mean, so it doesn't have to be, like warm or whatever. So you need to drink it now. It needs to be ready now with the right cocktail. So yes, so timing is utterly important. It's super important, timing. But timing alone is not enough. So that ingredient is not enough. You need to have the right message, reach the right person, with the right content, etc., and the right timing. So, and that's the problem today. The economy, the business is moving so fast that today I take business decision A, and it's raining today. Tomorrow it's sunny, and I take business decision B. So I might take a different business decision. So I need to get the a different content message, because today, if I reach your prospect today, you need to have this message, and tomorrow you need to have a different message, probably, because the economy. I'm exaggerating a bit, but the economy is moving so fast. So, and that's all also is something that you need to tackle. So, what do people do? Is they base their outreach on data in the past. So are events that happened in the past. And I'm not saying those events, this cocktail is wrong, but it's not complete, because your company is evolving, the market is evolving. So you need to be further than that. I said, I'm always puzzled today that still people are predicting bankruptcy based on data that is a year old. I don't understand this. This doesn't go into my head. I just don't understand it. Nobody has been able to explain. Maybe it's the only thing they have, but that's not true anymore. Today you have much more data than only the data from a year ago. So yes, and I come from the data business. So and that's important. It's that cocktail. So the timing is one aspect that needs to be right. So if you have a demand today or tomorrow, you need to be able to get in touch with that company.
So your philosophy, again, most of the salespeople, when we're reaching out to prospects, we're reaching out to people based on old data. Therefore, that's one of the ingredients that inhibit our messaging from actually, or emails from actually landing. because
Yeah,
of, and what are some of the things that you see that may be in old information, old data? Is it like the title, the roles, or what are some of those old data that you're finding?
it's always so. They base their data on most of the time on official data, official company that has been publicized. But that's only one aspect. Like a company is also launching TikTok campaigns. A company is having a website. A company is in the news. A company is everywhere. Is filing patents. Is like is at exhibitions, participates in trade shows. Is doing so. Is going abroad as well, doing business. So this whole elements or ingredients need to form the right cocktail so that you can use that cocktail to make a prediction. That's what we do in our company. We try to build that 360 degree in real time of that company in order to make a prediction. And it's not the amount of data, because it's not because I have more data than you that I'm smarter and more intelligent. No, it's the right data. It's like the relevant data that is also important. So and we say in our company as well is, who am I to decide on that? I'm not a finance guy. I'm not a marketeer. I'm not this. I'm not that. You are Mr. User. You know your market the best. So that's why we invented some kind of an automatic feedback loop done by human enforcement. So by the end user, so he can validate what the machine is prepping for him and what is right. So content wise. So therefore you solve already two very big problems: is the timing and the content. But the content always comes from that cocktail. It's never one signal. They say it's not one swallow that makes spring. It's you need more. And that's also today a lot of outreach tools and say, oh yeah, but we work with real time data. Yeah, but you fetch one signal and you say, oh, there's a CEO change. Let's go for it. But that's not enough. You need to have the complete constellation of that company, because that could be that, yeah, the new CEO has just been appointed, but that doesn't always have an impact on what you're selling. So
Let's give an example. Go, because I like where you're going with this, and I think it's interesting that we need to use multiple data sources. And you're saying a 360 view of the company. But let's give an example. And then, guys, this is our first time going about and talking about this.
Yeah. So what we do is we translate data points into signals. So that's a very important. So one signal. So with our company, we are monitoring on a daily basis hundreds of millions of signals worldwide. We cover more than 80% of all companies in the world. But this means billions of data points. But a signal can be out of different data points. So a signal could be a CTO. We had it before, a CEO change or a CTO or a CMO change, a C-level change. But that can come from LinkedIn. But that can come from the company website. But that can come from the press. That can come from, patent filing. That can come, for an exhibition. He speaks there and all of a sudden we see there's a new name. So it can come from everywhere, but it's the signal that is important. And in that cocktail, so we can monitor, or we can identify, 500 signals about that company, but only 10 will be relevant to make a prediction for you, a sales prediction, for instance.
Yeah.
Maybe other 10 will be relevant, or 20 will be relevant for a risk prediction. Other 50 will be important for a marketing prediction. I don't know. So it's not all the things. It's not all the things that are important. But what we do is we show all the signals to the end user, and then the machine makes a prediction on a certain cocktail of signals. And then you need to validate this yes or no, and the machine is learning from that.
The machine, so who validates that? Then the machine, or is that?
No, the end user.
Gotcha. So
because the end user knows the market the best. I'm a strong believer in a very volatile market like the business market. Like I said, tomorrow you might take a different business decision. That we need the human enforcement in there. Because also I predict that through AI, business will become even more human business, because the machine will do its homework, will predict the number of potential sales or potential supplies or potential risk or whatever, and then you start as a human interacting with other humans, and then there are other elements like in the gut that will or the energy or whatever that will make your deals, but you can focus on the ones that are good for your company. So if now today you focus pure on gut feeling, 80% or 60% will be not good business for your company. But if the machine makes the first selection, you can focus really where you're good at it. Well, we are good at it as human And I predict more human business because of AI than less, which is a bit of a contradiction.
I'm going to use I'm making up the scenario, but just roll along with
Yeah.
me. A mid-sized company, they just launched a new campaign on LinkedIn for hiring. And then I see that some members of the team are resharing stuff, so those signal points. And then I also see that they have some stuff shared on their website about their expansion and new rounds of fundings. And then I also find whatever. I get some of these signals, and then I see some stuff on Twitter, and there's a chat going or whatnot, or some kind of Reddit about them.
Yeah.
I see that people are asking about this. My solution may be an HR software. Now I have signal indicating to me that you guys are gathering, and that's really like superficial stuff I'm sharing here. But I see based on the behavior you're pulling that you tell me, Donald, it may be a good time to look at this company. Can you go and
Yeah.
then you send me to go validate that, right?
Yes. So basically what we do, your ICP, your target market is those 500,000 companies. We
Yeah.
will rank them most likely to less likely according a cocktail of signals. So if today you have time to do 10, you will do 10. If today you have time to do 100, you do 100. Because if you don't know that, you just base yourself on the knowledge of the account manager and his research, basically.
Yeah.
And he will find signals, but he's doing that manually. And basically the know-how of the account management is pure in his head. So if he moves company, he takes all this knowledge with you. I hope you'll have a lot in your CRM, but otherwise it's all gone.
Yeah.
So and that's what we are trying. So we're like pre-intent. We're going to predict those 10 companies based on this cocktail of signals will or might be interested or might be have a big interest in your product. Go and contact it. And these are the signals. So when you engage with those companies, you're timely, you know what to say, because you see all the hey, I saw you just participated there, you just filed a new patent, you launched a new product, you're doing this, you're doing that. So you're having content to discuss, and you can validate that in the machine. So and that's or devalidate or say it's a machine there was like an utter stupid decision of you. So that can have machines are not perfect as well.
So real-time data, I'm getting an update daily, right? Or how often am I
Yeah.
getting?
Yeah.
So daily.
Yeah. As we speak, daily. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. And so live updates with this information. And then the other thing is right targeting, because now how can this help me to make sure I'm targeting the right people? I mean, besides the obvious.
Yeah. Okay. I'll explain you that the best with just a very simple example. So we have a customer in the UK, for instance, and that customer is like a commercial chamber of commerce. So what are they doing? They're looking at companies from Belgium and Luxembourg to start business in the UK. It's a UK company, so it's connected with Belgium, but it's not subsidized. It's a commercial one. It's a kind of a chamber of commerce, and they're giving HR services, event services, legal services, banking services for Belgian companies starting to do business in the UK. Of course, it's very important they know those companies before they go to the UK. So what is happening today, they have like 10 sales reps, and those 10 sales reps are doing their research wherever they want. They use some tools as well, and they do their research. And the problem is they detect those companies when it's almost too late, because they detect them because they leave a trace in the UK. That's how they see them. When they hire somebody in the UK, or where they speak, or when they're at a trade show in the UK, when they're there. But that's too late. They can't sell half of their services. And in Belgium, Belgium and Luxembourg, we have 4 million companies. So you can't do that manually, even with 10 sales reps. So what we do is we rank those 4 million companies more likely to go to the UK to less likely to go to the UK with a cocktail of signals. And these are signals are before they go to the UK. So, but I saw you have a job post open for a sales manager in the UK. You're going in 2 months, you're going to that trade show, you're doing this. So then they can, instead of, hey, do you know my services? They have the timing and they have the subject to the content to discuss.
I'm a big believer in this, and this is why I have him on the show, guys, because this stuff is legit. This is the way that the game is changing, and I'm not just doing a hype up because it's true. Because here's why, JP. There's an episode that I did on, I think there's 3 types of prospecting. One is direct referral. Like that's the best of the best. JP tells Mary, connect with Donald, and you do an email introduction. Better, even great. I love Donald. He does amazing stuff. Work with him.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Number two is the second one, and that's the, I'm calling it the predictive, or the it's like the, I'm going based on intent, and I am not necessarily, I don't want to make it sound like I'm guessing, but it's like predictive, what you're saying, where this falls into. Based on everything that I'm seeing out there, I understand that you're planning to go to the UK. And now in my mind, I'm like, if you, I'm like, oh, wow, yeah, that's something that we are looking at doing. We want to go to the UK because of the predictive behavior. The third one is what we do right now, where it's the probing, where JP, have you ever thought about doing business in the UK? And it may be, this was like 6 months after I'm in the UK. Like, no, I'm already
Yeah,
here. You're probing something to me. But when you come and people tell us, go do research. And that's where that second category is. And this is that research when they're able to do
yeah,
that targeting, because that now makes me sound like I know you before you even talk. And that's like a real consultant, because of now I understand based on these things that you're doing this. And I think that's just the way the sales game is going. And marketing did this a long time ago when, like if you remember, there's a famous Target story where the Target, I heard about it in college like 20 years ago now. But this guy got upset, or 50, whatever time I was in college, the guy got upset at the local Target manager because they're sending baby stuff to his daughter, to, a
yeah.
magazine.
I heard that one too.
But
Yeah,
the thing is, it was just based on the behavior that the daughter was doing on her Target account. Therefore, somebody in that house is pregnant.
yeah,
It's been
yeah,
refined since then, but that's the same
yeah,
concept that we're doing for sales right now. And if instead of I don't want to go for, I don't need to go for my whole market share and send 1,000. If my market share, you said 500,000 people, don't send 500,000 emails. I just need to send 50 emails to these people that today are behaving that they're ready. Am I making sense there?
yeah, completely. And we saw, for instance, what happened to that Chamber of Commerce. We doubled their yearly revenue in just one quarter because, yeah, but these are insane numbers we're doing. Huh? And this is because if the sales reps are using the machine as, like their augmenter, so that they augment their capacity, they can focus on this human relationship. And this is why sales are very good at. That's why they're sales. They have a lot of empathy. They can, and they can facilitate the sales. So yes.
JP, I don't know what those signals are for my company. Do you help me with that? If
Yes.
I'm a,
So
yeah.
we have two ways of doing that. So uh, today we work with SAP in the US, SAP. So
Yep.
we work with SAP where we do exactly what I just explained. We're discovering the right moment, net new customers. But we work with SAP in Germany as well, where we do upsell for their existing customers. And these are different cocktails. So what we do is we identify for those cases a standard cocktail of signals. And with that standard cocktail of signals, you already get a ranking. And we guarantee already 30% better with that standard cocktail of signals. And the more feedback you're giving, the more the percentage of success is going up, of course. So that's one way of doing it. This is when you go with the standard solution. But when you're a bigger company or you have more interest, we can already help you build up your custom cocktail of signals. And by the way, those cocktails of signals are dynamic cocktails of signals because the way you're doing feedback, we're doing automatic time series, we're doing automatic regressions, the machine is doing that. He's proposing all the time new signals as well. And he looks at the way you're giving feedback, how they're integrated in a cocktail. So it's a dynamic cocktail as well. So because tomorrow you might like a different taste of cocktail or your prospect.
I absolutely love this. And I feel like this goes back to that content now. My content will sound more original, and I can also sound like, again, sound like I know. I heard this thing before, and I've tried to adopt it over the years, is that the person that, if you can describe my problem better than anyone else, or even better than me understanding that problem, I don't blink an eye about your solution, because it sounds like you know my problem so well. And I think
Exactly.
that's what happened when you can come with intent. That
Yeah.
makes that content so much more effective,
Yeah.
because again, I've done the research, but I can see based on the behavior, this is what's going on, and I sound like an expert.
I give you another example, completely the other way around, where we use this technology for translating data into signals, and a cocktail of signals is determining a prediction of a company, what it's going to do, buy your service, your product, your whatever, if it's going to move, if it's going to be at risk, if it's going to hire, if it's going to lay off people, if it will do more innovation, etc. So we're having completely something different that's got nothing to do with B2B business, etc., but they're using it with super success. So basically, we are helping an NGO that is refurbishing IT equipment for the education system in Africa. And they have a call center. They call in companies and they say, what do you do with your laptop when, like when it's end of life or whatever, or when employees are leaving the company, or you renew them, etc. They try to call also manufacturers and etc. So they're doing more or less 150,000 devices that they refurbish and then sell, because they sell it for a minimum price to the African education system. Because if they give it for free, they say they're going to throw it away.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we doubled that again in 3 months' time. So we went from 150,000 to 350,000, because we predicted when companies are going to lay off people, and their ICP was laying off people. So companies that are laying off people that have a green propensity. So we went looking for companies that had a green propensity, that follow ESG standards and whatever, and that would have going through a restructuration or whatever. So, and before they go into that, they call them up, and then they're top of mind. Oh, yes. We're not going to give them with the employees that are leaving the company, or we're not going to resell it on the second-hand market. We're going to give them to you. And we just stop, because the timing is important, and because also it's also finding your right ICP. It's like, it's the right company at the right moment, and that is open for your message. And that you can do with this new technology today. And that will change sales. I'm pretty sure that will change sales completely.
I love it. Well, JP, I wish I can continue chatting with you for like another hour. I'm taking notes, typing stuff. Like there's so much here, and we're going to put this all in our show notes. I'm a big believer in this. I feel that this is where we are going, and we're at a transition point. And the old way of doing sales, and this is like, I don't know, the meridian of time in the sales world. There's an old way,
True. I believe that too.
and then we're going into a whole new way, and then maybe that new way will change again. Maybe it's not so much meridian, but this is a marker in sales and business history where we need to become. I want you, and I feel in the way that I see it in my personal life, I don't want to teach you how to sell to me when you reach out to me, JP. I
who am
want
I?
you to come to me with stuff proving why I need to be doing business with you. It's almost like a case that you're doing at that point, but it's validated because I may feel the symptoms, but I don't know the pain. And then you describe the pain because you watch the symptoms and know it enough. And then you say,
Exactly. So to end, is yes, we think that's super important. I mean, AI tools will not replace people in that level in sales. They will enhance people. And who am I to determine what is good for your market? Nor a machine. You need to find out yourself, because we say people, business will become even more people business. So that's for us super important. We're planning to go to the US market. We have already customers there. So that's for us also very important. And we firmly believe that the US market is more open for this than the European market.
I think so.
So that's why we chose to go to the US. So we're prepping ourselves. We signed SAP USA. We already roll partially out. So yes, we're looking for other customers. So yes.
Awesome. Well, we'll put this in our show notes. If folks want to get in touch with you and to learn about you and to use your service or learn about it, how do they get connected to you?
They just write me an email or connect with me through our website, AxonJay.ai. They have my details are there somewhere on the website, or they just send me an email, jp@AxonJay.ai.
Love it. JP, thanks so much for coming on the show today. Truly appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
That was JP, and I told you, the man knows what he's talking about. And I'm telling you, this episode, I want you to go back in, and you're going to look at this in like 5 years from now, a year from now, and you're going to say DK was right. Because again, if we're just sending probing messages, I don't want that. You're trying to sell me something. If you're sending me a referral, awesome. We would love that. Or that number two, that second one I'm talking about, that relevance, because you see all of this stuff in my ecosystem and you predict it and you sound like you're in my window watching me, like not in a creepy way. Like that makes me more interested. Like, how did they know that I do have this issue right now? Because of all the data, the signals you're putting out. I don't want to do the work. I don't want to teach you how to sell to me. I want for you to know my issues and my problems and for you to sell to me and come and answer and bring some solution to me. That's what we want. Amazon did it and most of these other companies, and B2B is finally catching up. And I think this is the inflection point. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome. I want you to thrive. I want you to succeed. And if you want to get some help, you want to get improving on your sales game, check out our mastermind. We're kicking off a new semester in the fall, and I would love to have you join early September, salesevangelist.com/mastermind. As always, I want you to thrive. I want you to succeed. I want you to raise the level of thinking, but most importantly, I want you to go out and do big things. See you on the next one.